Welcome back to the Pop Culture Discussion. I am your host, Robert, and today, to celebrate the release of Dungeons & Dragons coming out on physical media, this is the 4K Blu-ray Steelbook combo. I picked this up, and it's got a pretty basic back. It's just the D&D symbol, but the front is really nice. It is reflecting off that light real bad, but that's because it's metal. And the inside, I like that shot of the group. That's really cool. Got your double discs in there, and then obviously that piece of cardboard that just flaps around, folds back over like that. So you've got it back like that. To celebrate this getting released, I also picked up all of the action figures of all the characters. So as you can see, I'm a bit of a fig collector. If you've been following this account since the beginning, you probably know that already. But if you're new here and you didn't know that, this is a unboxing video for all of these figs. This is something brand new. I've never done a video like this on this channel before. All right, let's get into the unboxing. This Dungeons & Dragons figure wave consists of Edgin the Bard, Forge the Rogue, Simon the Sorcerer, Holger the Barbarian, Zenk the Paladin, and Doric the Druid. The only fig that feels like it's missing is Sophina, the Red Wizard. She's definitely a main villain and absolutely deserves a figure as well, but apparently they didn't make one of her. I love the artwork used for the front and side of every figure. Unfortunately, the back of each box is pretty underwhelming, with only a picture of the figure and accessories included. Some information about the characters or their classes within the film or game would have been nice. Starting off with Edgin the Bard. The figure is nicely made, it looks great, and it absolutely looks like Chris Pine. The boots and the jacket are detailed nicely and are well painted. The detail on the loot is nice and it fits in the figure nicely. The dagger is a fun little accessory, even if I have no memory of him having one in the movie. Unfortunately, the articulation in the elbows and knees is really stiff, making for some inconvenient posing. And the key is just a little annoying, as it doesn't really fit anywhere on the figure unless he's holding it in his hand. My overall rating for this guy is a 6 out of 10. Up next is Forge the Rogue. The figure looks great. It's very well detailed, especially when it comes to the coat, and the head absolutely looks like Hugh Grant. The boots and the belt also look fantastic. The dagger is a fun little accessory as well. Unfortunately, the other accessories are pretty underwhelming. The crossbow does not hold well in the figure because of the impractical build, and the grail just looks very basic. Again, the articulation is very stiff with this fig as well, and I find posing him is quite restricted because of the long coat. Overall, I would give this fig a 5 out of 10. Up next, we have Simon the Sorcerer. This is an incredible looking figure. It's very well detailed and well painted, with the vest, the satchel, and the cape really standing out. The helmet looks great and fits the character perfectly. It's slightly too big for him, just like the movie. Unfortunately, the staff does look a little cheap, and the no double joints on the elbows, unlike other male figs in this wave, is a little disappointing. The elbows also have some tough articulation, and the articulation on the legs is also a little restricted because of the vest and the cape. This is the first fig in the wave I am genuinely really impressed with, and because of that, it gets an 8 out of 10. Up next, we have Holger the Barbarian. The figure mostly looks like Michelle Rodriguez. The outfit is very well made and painted. The tattoos and the scars look very cool, and the axe is an awesome looking weapon. Again, the articulation is really stiff, especially when it comes to the knees of this figure. And the double axe handles just feel like a waste, when they could have just made one adjustable handle instead of 2 different sizes. Once you put the head of the axe on the long axe handle, you basically have no need for the short one. I don't really like the paint job on the dagger either. It just looks a bit cheap and silly to me. This might be the design from the film, but as an accessory, it just doesn't look that great. And the hair sculpture kind of restricts the head movement, unfortunately. Overall, I would give this fig a 6 out of 10. Up next, we've got Zenk the Paladin. The sword looks and feels fantastic. It's super detailed and it fits into the sheath perfectly without being too tight. The outfit is super detailed and it looks very nice, especially the boots, armor, and cape. Speaking of the cape as well, it clips onto the fig very nicely. You can have him with or without the cape. Either way, it clips on the back nicely, not too tight, but not loose at all. We finally have some great elbow articulation with this fig, making for some great holds for the sword. The only downside of this fig is the face seems to be lacking in detail compared to most of the other figs in this wave, and the shoulder armor and longer vest definitely restricts some of the movement of the figure. Overall, this is the least amount of complaints I've had about a figure in this wave so far, so this is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. The final figure in this wave is Doric the Druid. This is the best articulation we've had on legs for any fig in this wave so far, making for some great poses. The boots and leaf armor look fantastic. The tail also looks good and is made of a bendy plastic, so it's not easy to break. And the horns are cute and also look good too. Unfortunately, the super basic face just looks generic and doesn't look like Sophia Lillis at all. And the only one accessory just being the shoulder armor on her right side is very underwhelming. Honestly, her accessory should have been one of her transformations, like a cat or a bird. That would have been really cool. Yes, the shoulder armor looks nice, but it completely restricts the articulation on that arm. And speaking of restricted articulation, the upper body articulation on this fig is quite possibly the worst in the entire wave. You can't even line up her slingshot like she's ready to attack, and that is pretty disappointing. Overall, I'd give this fig a 5 out of 10. This wave looks great as a set due to the mostly detailed faces, amazing painting, and well-sculptured outfits. The weaker figs of the wave are made up for by the stronger figs in the wave when the figures are all unboxed together. My main negatives for this entire wave though is the stiff articulation, the limited posability because of the restricted clothing, and I know this is a bit of a weird one, but the smaller feet on all of the figs because it makes them all fall over very easily. I know they might not look all that small on camera, but when they're set up on your shelf, and if you just accidentally bump them, every single one of these figs will fall over. This set is great for display and photography, or for collectors, but for stop motion or general play, not so great. So depending on what you want to buy these figs for, that's my recommendation. If you're only wanting one or two of the figures in this wave, my recommendations are either Simon the Sorcerer or Zenk the Paladin, as they really do carry this wave when it comes to the perfect mix of detail and articulation. If you are a collector, displaying this wave with the rest of your collection is going to look great. So if you can get them for a decent or sale price and do enjoy the fantasy world of D&D, I do recommend this wave. My overall rating for the entire wave is 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching my unboxing video of the Dungeons & Dragons action figure wave. This is my first time attempting a unboxing video. I've probably made some absolute rookie mistakes in this video, and if that's the case, feel free to let me know in the comments below on what I can improve on. If you would like to see more of these unboxing videos, I'm always looking for constructive criticism, especially on things that I'm trying out for the first time. If this video has helped you in knowing if you do or don't want to buy this wave of figs, I'm glad it's helped. That's one of the main reasons I made this video, to help people spend money on the stuff they actually want without being disappointed in the results. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, feel free to slap that subscribe button. I've got some exciting new videos coming out soon as well. And like always, I will see you in the next video.